I'm Amanda McLaren, and this is the Papaya Pod.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Papaya Pod. I am your host, Jimmy, and once again, we have another amazing guest for you this week. This guy has been on the podiums of Silverstone, of Spa, and many other circuits around the world. He is the 2024 British GT4 champion. He is currently a McLaren GT3 junior driver. And most importantly, he's a really lovely guy. He was so friendly, so nice, very mature, just 19 years of age, but a very, very mature head on him. A hell of a talent. And I had to have my Papaya Pod Race Review co-host Keith join us on this one because Keith is, in fact, as everyone will know, Zac Meakin's biggest fan. He is a Zac Meakin super fan. It was Keith that sort of put me on to Zac to say, keep an eye out for this guy. Back in September, he told me, and he's been rooting for him pretty much his entire career. So we got Keith on board for this one as well. It was a great chat. This was fresh off of Zac's win in Portimao. And yeah, as always, I hope you guys enjoy this as much as me and Keith did. Without further ado, here he is. It's Zac Meakin. Me and Keith are both joined with Zac now. Zac, how are you doing?
Oh, good, thank you. How are you guys?
I'm good.
Yeah, very exciting. So chuffed to have you with us, Zac. It's been a dream of mine to get you on here with Jimmy and I. And you know what? It's happened, and here we are, ladies and gents. You're in for a thriller. Let's do this.
Yeah, Zac, thank you so much for doing this, mate. I'm buzzing, but no one's more buzzing than that man sat there, Keith. I think he might be one of your biggest fans, to be fair. And he was actually on as a guest on this very podcast, episode 5, I believe it was, back in
Yeah.
September.
I
And
was
he's
looking at your YouTube actually, because I was trying to see if you were live streaming now or something to try and find the invitation.
no, it's not live. But
Ah,
Keith said to me back in September, I've got a name for you. You need to look out for him. It's a young lad called Zac Meakin. And would you believe it? You're now sat there as a McLaren development driver,
yeah, McLaren Junior driver.
a
Yeah.
McLaren junior driver. It is just, you couldn't have written it the way that Keith has. I mean, I spoke with Keith off air as well about you quite a lot. It's amazing. I mean, what are you like 19, right? I believe.
Yeah, 19, well, 19 in December I was. So
And you're
last year,
officially a
last,
McLaren driver.
yeah, last year I'm in teens this year, sadly.
How? Yeah. Well, God, yeah. You're speaking to the wrong two people there. That seems like a long time ago, doesn't it, Keith?
Oof, too long ago. I'm not even going there. You know.
How I can't even imagine how that must feel to be, driving for one of the biggest names out there. I mean,
Hmm.
how did it make you feel? It must have been unbelievable.
It was, to be fair. I remember just being sat at home and then all of a sudden phone starts buzzing and it's like pick up the phone, it's Rob from McLaren. He goes, "Oh, Zac, are you free this weekend?" I'm like, what for?" He goes, "Well, congratulations, you've been selected as a McLaren junior driver." I'm like, "Oh, thanks." He goes, "Yeah, come down to Woking on, I think it was a Wednesday or a Thursday." I went, "All right, I'll be there." And he just ended the call. I'm like, "What? What's happened?"
Wow.
Just I'm sat there waiting there, and I'm like, I remember running down, going, "Dad, I've been selected as a McLaren driver, McLaren junior driver," and just ecstatic from there.
I bet your dad thought you were winding him up.
At first, I think he did, yeah.
I've got to chip in here. I've got to chip in here. Having met Zac's dad and having some fantastic chats with him, I'm not sure he just went, "Oh, I bet he was well and truly over the moon."
He was,
When
yeah.
we was at Brands and we were watching you at Brands and you had some cracking races that weekend, and we'd seen you put in some real cracking manoeuvres as well on the track. We were buzzing and Dad was buzzing. So, yeah, I reckon he was probably like, "Yee haw for this one."
Oh, definitely. It was his adrenaline or whatever it was, energy levels definitely had a big spike.
Yeah. So how did it feel then, Zac, driving to McLaren, driving to Woking? You're driving yourself down there, you got music on thinking, yeah, I'm going to be driving for them now. I mean, how did you process all that information when you drive into Woking?
weirdly enough, I still didn't know what to think, really.
Yeah,
Like, I went down the day before. I stayed there. And I'm like, I've been here twice, or no, I think it was either twice or three times. And I'm like, this time I'm actually here for a proper reason. Like, I've been actually accepted. Like, finally, one of my dreams has come true. And I'm like, driving there, not knowing what to expect, what's going to happen. I'm like, am I doing everything right? Especially when we got to drive around the front. Usually they only get McLaren to drive around it. And I'm like, am I in the right spot? Everything. And then I saw everybody that was there that was also chosen for it. And it was like, no, let's go. Let's do it.
We're doing this.
Yeah, we're doing this. It's on. Let's go.
Yeah.
I can't imagine you got too much sleep the night before if you sort of travelled down and stayed over.
Actually, I had a really bad stomach bug that night, so I didn't have any sleep at all. But
bless you.
luckily enough, it went away. That like it was either the adrenaline or something just completely destroyed it.
Yeah.
So on the drive down, I was a bit worried that I was going to be sick for the day after, but I was fine after that.
Oh, wow, terrible time to get ill.
It genuinely was. It was like I was fine when Rob rang me, and then literally the day before I was supposed to be there, all of a sudden it just went bang. There it is. I'm like,
you can imagine all of that emotion, all that adrenaline, those years of practicing, and let's be honest, Zac, looking at your wall behind you, you know, it is fantastic to see these trophies. So all of that hard work and all of those races and all that effort came to fruition with that. And I should imagine Jimmy and I would have also had a stomach bug that night as well, because it's got to come out, isn't it? It's going to boil over, isn't it? You know, it's going to be there. So
yeah, I'd probably say the only ones on this wall that you have to get rid of are them ones up there, as they're not McLaren ones; they're Porsche.
We'll let you have them. They're a good car. We'll let you have them.
They can edit them out to like a big smile.
We'll have all the other side, all the McLaren ones on the other side.
Well, if you can't see, if I bring it down a bit, that's all the trophy ones there.
Wow. They're the McLaren Trophy Cups, yeah?
Yeah, so all of them. You've got the British GT one, like next to the silver one.
Yeah.
Then you've got 6 hours of Portimao. Then you've got all the trophy ones that we had last year.
Look at that.
Wow.
And then over to this side, there's the ones from the GT3, the GT Open.
Wow.
And then all
what an impressive trophy. And also that I'm loving the helmets as well. Look at those ones at the top as well. Look at that.
Yeah, they're all, I think they're all wins from British GT actually. Yeah, they are.
Wow.
But yeah, and then I've got every helmet I've ever had.
That is impressive. Look at that. How good is that? Jimmy, how much would we like to have that in our rooms?
That's the one I first started off with.
Wow, look at that.
The little bell back when I was 7 years old.
Look at that. See, there was a question right there. It was, Zac, how old were you when you first started racing? And you've just let us know. That was my first one from being 7.
Yes, 7 years old I started indoor karting.
Yep.
Did all of that. Then obviously started going outdoors, I think when I was 8. That's the next helmet, I believe, up there.
Yep.
That one is when we first started like properly going at it. And then, as you can tell, we've liked the bright colours ever since because they're all quite similar.
Yes. Yeah, you've definitely got a theme going there. There's definitely a theme there, isn't there?
We used to be, our old livery back in karting used to be white and like green. And then we added a bit of orange after a team we joined. And then it's kind of just been orange, green and white ever since, really. And a bit of black as well. So yeah.
Amazing.
I can even tell you, like, that's cadets. That was mini X30. And then the rest were junior X30.
Fantastic.
How did it come about then? Is your dad massively into racing? Is he a driver himself or anything like that? Or?
No, he played rugby most of his life.
Oh, wow.
He did do a bit of motocross back in his day. But besides that, no, not a racing family at all, really.
But when you speak to Zac's dad, Jimmy, when you know, if you get the chance to speak to Zac, he absolutely oozes the passion for Zac's motor racing and how he's been behind him and how they back it. You know, talking to his dad was such an incredible experience because Dad had this wealth of knowledge about Zac, and he said he'd be here in a minute. He'll be back in a minute, Keith. You can meet him. But he was sharing all of Zac's victories. You could just see, his pride and how proud he was of Zac for what he's achieved. It was such a lovely conversation. It really was. It was amazing.
Yeah, I can imagine. Has he always been a fan of motorsport then, Zac, or was it just sort of he took your kart in one day and thought, actually, he's not too bad at this?
I have a friend, Alex Moss. Still a friend, know him quite well. But he used to take me to all the British touring cars at the beginning. And I remember being, I think, a little bit more fascinated with the remote control cars at Donington when it wasn't the pit stop garage. Because I got bored of watching it. I wanted to actually race something. So I ended up sat there for hours racing each other on the RC cars. But I just remember the environment there and everything just seemed cool.
Yeah.
But then came back to my dad one day and went, Dad, I want to race cars. Like, I was in Cass Academy rugby, doing well there. He was set for me being a rugby player, got everything ready. He was like, yes, he's going to be good. And then came back and shattered all of his plans. I went, right, I want to race.
Was that it then? No more rugby pretty much from that moment? Or
basically, it carried on for a little bit and then it just stopped and we went full-blown karting because we were just too busy for it. And then also, just in case you get an injury or something, you're out. So
yeah, because your hands are your tools. You can't afford broken fingers in rugby if you're going to be driving a car using paddles.
Yeah, your hands and your legs, really.
Yeah, and of course, your feet are really important as well. It's got go department. We need them working, don't we?
Struggle if you can't hit the brake.
No, you just put it down to experience. No, I was drifting, honest.
Yeah.
So I want to quickly talk about last weekend.
Yeah.
And that weather and your final stint in the car, Zac. When you jumped in, I mean, I watched the race, ladies and gents, and I might as well have been Zac's dad because when it was raining, I was like, oh, no, this is not good. No, no. And I was trying to count down the time to get him out of the car and finish the laps. But as you jumped in the seat, what was your thoughts for that last session, Zac? You're looking at the weather, looking at the car, thinking, actually, I've got this. I come from Britain. We're used to racing in the rain.
Okay. Well, it'd been raining the whole day.
It had, hadn't it, pretty much?
I kind of I got into it, and obviously with how the pit stops work that weekend and everything, we had to spend a minimum of 35 minutes in the pits.
Yeah.
So not only did I have a really long time to wait in the pits, I had it torrentially rain as well. Mm-hmm. So I think we had to wait, I think it was something like 12 or 15 minutes in the pits to meet the minimum time. And I'm just sat there like waiting in this car for ages.
It must feel like a day.
It generally does. Like you've had all your adrenaline, you've been warmed up, you've got ready. You get in the car after your quick pit stop change, and I'm sat there. I'm like, "Oh, would you look at that? I could get back out, go and have a Sunday roast, come back in, and I'll still be fine."
I remember it getting to minute 13, Zac, and I'm thinking, "Come on, release him."
I remember it was quite funny on the team radio because I would probably say with the last maybe 15 minutes left of the race, it started getting dangerous as it got more and more heavy. Like all the rivers were becoming bigger and there was just a lot of standing water on the track. I remember Ramon coming over the team radio going, Zac, just calm the pace down. We're quite far in the lead. Keep going. I'm like, yeah. It's all good, all good. I did slow down a little bit, probably not enough for their liking. And I think I almost gave my team manager a few heart attacks. I think even he would agree. But I knew I had it all under control. It was fine. And it's literally as soon as you touch them, like big, massive rivers, it completely shook the control of the car. It was really strange.
Yeah.
But brought it back home and ended up coming out on top, which was good.
I guess it's not in your nature to come off the throttle, is it? That's not.
Not really.
Didn't get to where you are by taking it easy, did you?
No.
I definitely came off a little bit just to make sure it was safe.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, when I first went out after the end of the long pit stop, my ABS didn't work.
No.
Yeah, so a little panic on with that because in the rain, with that much wet with no ABS, I'd have been probably all right. But I wouldn't have been able to maximize what I would have been able to do. But we reset all the systems, so it was fine, and it was good after that. So it was
Cool.
good.
I've never got over, Zach. One of the things I cannot, it doesn't compute with me because I'm not a born racer. But when you guys are driving and you're going at max silly speeds, you've got all this information, you're processing the apex of the corner, and then they start going, can you now switch that to so-and-so? Can you dial this in on your steering wheel? I'm like, how do you guys balance that? Using the steering wheel to change settings while still...
It's weird in the car. You can't really... Until you experience it, you can't really say, but everything happens really slow. It's like back in the film depicts it quite well, the Le Mans one. When you're actually in the car, it's like a tunnel vision. Everything around you is happening slower than what it actually seems. So when they are talking to you and stuff, you've got loads in your head. You've got loads of time to quickly. You're adjusting it all. It feels like everything's going slow until you get to the apex, and then it's a little bit different. But it just everything feels like it's just going a bit slow.
I mean, that must come with time, because I remember doing a track day a few years back, and one of the cars I drove was a Lamborghini Huracan, and it's the quickest I've ever been in a motor before.
Quite quick.
And I remember the guy, I mean, they were great. He was screaming at me, don't brake, don't brake. And the corner's approaching pretty quick, and I am panicking. And he, don't brake until I tell you. And at the last second, I had to hammer the brake, come back off the brake. I mean, I'm not a racing driver by any stretch of the imagination. But when I got out of that car and I was told people that story, I said, well, how fast were you going? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't look down at any point. I was so busy panicking about missing this corner at the speed I was going, and just like this, the last thing I was doing was looking down at the dashboard, never mind doing all these controls that you guys have to do.
It's definitely something with racing, because we obviously have to stay on top of everything, so we are always making sure it's best. The more information, the better it is for us, but it's the more amount of information you can give in short amounts of brackets at the same time.
Right.
So what we're in the car, we're always processing how the car behaves, like how it's feeling around the corners, what it's like. You're also gauging on what the ABS is doing. So if it's locking, if it's not, if it's holding a little bit too long, if it's not holding early enough. So you're always trying to find what that is. Then also the TC to stop you from spinning. We have two in the GT3 called slip and gain. So slip's the amount of angle it will go before it will kick in, and gain is how much it will go in.
Wow.
So we're, especially in the rain, when we were going there, I was constantly messing about with them all just to see what it's like, messing about with the throttle mapping. So when I put the throttle down, it would go differently. So there's quite a lot of stuff that we were always being careful of, and like seeing what I was feeling it to do, and I was adjusting it myself.
Wow. It's incredible how you got that feel for that car. As you say, you're setting it up. So you did that corner last time. It didn't feel like that. So if I make these settings this time, I can make that. That's just so hard. As a spectator, we only see you guys going round and round and round, and we're cheering and we're watching the corners thinking, yes, go on, dive down there. Because we're not taking into account all of what you're processing as well as driving that car. There's all those bits. And you think, how did he make up that time on that lap? Well, you've just given that away. You know, you're changing those settings to get the best out of that car to make it. I mean, I know when we was at Brands and you was coming round paddock, I was like, thinking he's going to hold it. Oh, he held it. You know?
Paddock's quite a unique corner on itself.
Yeah.
Because of it does, obviously you go over a crest, but at the same time it banks away from you a little bit.
Yeah.
So as you're going in, you can already feel, you want your car always to be nervous on the back, because then as soon as it goes down, you're like kind of a little bit of an angle. I know this, especially from Ginetta Juniors, you're basically drifting around the corner.
Yeah.
As soon as you hit the compression, the whole car like gets ready and it's all gripped up and you can go.
Wow.
So I would probably say Paddock's a little bit of a sketchy corner, but it's a good one as well.
I guess you live for stuff like that, though, right? It's adrenaline for you guys, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely an adrenaline junkie at that point, because it's the best feeling you can possibly get is going around at the racetrack, especially in a race.
So this next question is a real dad question. Okay, this is a proper dad question. Now, how much does it cost you on your insurance when they say to you, "What do you do for a living in your car?" I'm a racing driver. What does the insurance company now go? Oh, okay.
That information doesn't get disclosed to them. We don't tell them that we're a racing driver. I have talked to a few people, and there's some insurance companies which are like quite mixed.
Yeah.
Because if they're like, they know you're a racing driver, they know you've got good handling with the car, they know you know the car and stuff like that. But then you've got the other side, which are like, he's a racing driver, he's going to boy race it, he's going to crash it, he's going to cause loads of shunts. So it's basically like two sides of the coin, really.
Yeah. I mean, I should imagine you guys are less likely to want to drive like a lunatic on the road because you're thinking, well, it's what I do for a living. I just want to drive normally. I don't want to cost my tyres. Got all this to do myself.
Like cruising around. To be fair, I'm the laziest driver there is. I just sit on cruise control and I just sit there and dawdle listening to music. But,
love that. See, I told you that was going to be a proper dad question, didn't I?
I was going to say, I think most racing drivers probably are very casual, fairly slow drivers, because if you're not, it's a busman's holiday, I guess, isn't it? You're not.
Yeah. And I think what happens with your road license and your race license, I think if you get points on the road, it goes onto your race license as well.
Oh, really?
Ooh.
Not sure how factual I am with that information, but I think that is what happens.
It would sound about right, because almost if you lose your road license, then you've been bringing the sport into disrepute. So therefore, that will affect your racing license as well. Yeah. So, blimey.
So in a way, it's a double whammy for us.
Yeah, that could really hit hard, couldn't it? Because that's your career as well as everything else that's going around.
Especially if it happens like mid-season or something, then you'd struggle there.
I remember, and I don't know if it's something it's a bit of another dad question here, but when I did that race day, I went from the Lamborghini Huracan into the Toyota Auris to get home, and it felt like the Toyota had zero power in it and it needed to go in the garage, and it was perfectly fine, but I was used to racing pretty quick to just a normal car, which was nothing wrong with whatsoever.
Yeah.
Is that a thing for you, or is that just something you've got used to?
It's definitely a thing for me. I'm sat there and I've got a little 1.2 litre, so obviously it's not the same as a V8 like what's in the GT3. So but it's different though at the same time. Yeah. Like on a racetrack, you've got all traffic's flowing one way. It's so much wider. You've got loads of runoff. There's no centre barrier in case you shunt into it.
Yeah.
You've got like maybe at least 100 meters of grass 50 meters of grass before a wall. So it's a bit different. You've got more space, so more room for error.
Yeah.
Because then here, if you have a little spin or something, you're either going to get collected by another car who's not paying attention.
Yeah.
Or that. Because on a racetrack, you know for a fact that everyone has a similar level of driving ability. Yeah. Or you'd hope so. On the track.
Yeah, you'd hope so. So if there was a track you could race at, if there was any track that you could race that you haven't done yet, or if it's already on your calendar, what is your favourite racetrack of all time, or which one would it be?
My favourite one currently is Portimao. I just like all the difference in elevations, and it's a cool track. One that I would like to race at and eventually get my licence for would be the Nordschleife, because obviously it's one of the most famous tracks in the world.
Yeah.
I've been rounding it in I can't remember what it was. It'll come back to me probably in about 10 minutes, but I remember going around it in that, and even though we weren't fully sending it because I had a race after it, it was definitely something to behold, like all the difference in the corners, the elevations, how long the track actually is.
Yeah.
So that was definitely an experience.
I mean, you're not too bad there either, are you, at Portimao?
No,
We've proven that. You did all right last weekend there, that's for sure. Wow.
Although I've got to say, I was wishing those last few laps down. I can't lie. I was like, oh, please hurry up. When I knew where we were, I watched you jump in, I'm thinking, we've got to hold this position. We've got to hold this position. Come on.
I remember going round and then my engineer went, Zach, just keep going. You got 15 minutes left. I'm like, oh, that's not too bad. It's roughly about maybe 7, 8 laps. We'll be fine. Keep going around, keep going around. Did about 5 or 6 laps at that point. All of a sudden he comes on the radio going, it's all right, Zach, you got 8 more laps to go. I'm like, what happened to them 15 minutes? This 15 minute by the end of the race, this 15 minutes turned into 30 minutes. So
Wow.
it was quite funny, to be fair.
Is that not mentally tough, or is that something you just sort of have to you have to get on with it anyway, I guess? But do you have to sort of mentally program that you got another 15 minutes extra than you thought?
Not
sort of
really,
thing,
to be fair. I got more excited. I'm like, oh, go on, a little bit more track time.
Fantastic.
First when he said it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, the time's flown by. And I felt like I've only done about 3 laps. But yeah, no, it was good, to be fair. I enjoyed it.
It was a cracking race to watch as well. It was, there's some real high points in that race as well. But to watch, the different classes of car mixing it up and getting in each other's way, etc. It kind of makes that a little bit more interesting sometimes as well, because you're not looking out for just your race series, but you've got the other guys out there as well that generally could get in the way, etc.
Sometimes it depends. Like, it's a little bit dangerous sometimes as well, because when you are, say, if we were in a pack of GT3s and you're all battling, you're all similar pace, all of a sudden you come around this corner, then there's, I don't know, a Porsche parked there, because you know for a fact it's not going to go slower, then that causes problems. And you've seen, I know, in quite a lot of races and stuff, where there is one of the faster cars ends up hitting one of the slower cars, or the slower car ends up hitting the faster car because it doesn't think, like it'll budge it in, and then that ruins their race and causes problems. But I do like the little bit of variation in it. You do, sometimes it's like, oh, I've caught him, it's all right. Where instead of GT3, and I bet you it's a bit better for spectators too, because when it's just GT3s, you're all literally following bumper to bumper because everybody is so close. Yeah. So would you like to do Le Mans, Zach? Would you like to do the 24-hour? Would you? Yeah. Is that a race that one day you'd like to say, I'm going to do Le Mans? I'm doing one day. This. Yeah, I would. Well, my dream is to do it in a hypercar. And
I love that. I love that. Not just my dream to do it. My dream is to do it in the. Yeah, I love that.
Well, McLaren's bringing a hypercar out, so
absolutely. That's exactly what I was thinking, Zach. Come on. Now, listen, other Zach, if you're listening in tonight to watch Zach on here tonight, please give him that chance. No, that would be fantastic. I mean, those hypercars are something else, aren't they? And I just love the fact that McLaren are investing again. And I know that Jim and I, you and I have spoken about this. We were absolutely chuffed that we're re-entering that series again, aren't we? To be back out there amongst the others and showing them what we can do. So that could be a dream come true there, couldn't it?
To see how McLaren compete against the Ferraris, because currently they're the most dominant hypercar that there is. So.
Definitely. Yeah, we're not allowed to talk about that in this house because wifey's a Ferrari fan. So we just sort of we go past those conversations.
Well, I don't think Ferrari will be winning this year.
It's looking interesting. Let's see what happens. Watch it. There you go. We've had it from Zach, ladies and gents. Watch this space.
He's gonna go back to this and put it on repeat so he can show his lovely wife.
Ferrari going down the can. I won't get fed for a week, will I?
Yeah, it looks like you're sleeping on the couch, Keith.
Sorry, Jill.
No, she knows. She was like, so this evening, she was like, oh, you're going to do your podcast, aren't you? She's like, good, because then perhaps you'll calm down because you've done it. But it's just fantastic to get a driver's perspective of this. And we've talked about the settings on the cars, Zach. We've talked about how you're mind mapping. I like that word, Zach. I'm going to use that one again. The way you're mind mapping the track, making those adjustments. Now, of course, also we've got the flags in play as well, haven't we? You're looking for the yellow flags, the red flags, the green flags. You've kind of got to put all of that in the mix. Do you get an indicator on the dashboard, or are you having to use your eyes?
Yeah, so obviously we get information from our race engineer. So he would be telling you like, oh, there's a yellow flag, turn 8. But at the same time, so you'd already clocked that. But even before, just even in your peripheral, you kind of already like mentally clock it. that it's there. So you're not focusing, you're focusing on what you're doing, but you've already mentally clocked what's the sign said over here. So you know there's maybe an incident. So at the same time, you're watching further around the corner in case anything happens. But then also in the car, we have a little, it's called a DID display, well, driver, whatever. I'm not sure what DID stands for. I forgot what it does. But that displays all the flags and everything that happens from race control. Because I know from British GT, whenever there was a full course yellow, you would get on the screen full course yellow in 20 seconds. And then you go 20, 19, all the way to 1, and then full course yellow. And the same for the full course yellow ending at the same time. So you'd be keeping an eye on that. Same with the marshal boards.
That's really interesting because, I mean, I'm certainly not going to ask you to comment, but at Bathurst this weekend, we saw that, you know, 2 cars pile into it. You had the 2 cars at the top of the grid. They reckon that the yellow flag's been out, but he didn't see it. He was coming through as the leader. And next thing you know, bang, he's taken them out and you know, it caused chaos. So, I mean, it's kind of, you think, how did that happen? How did he miss all of that? But again, you're racing, you're in that zone. He was on an apex and he's wanting to get round that corner as quick as he can, isn't he?
Well, yeah. Well, usually they go, he's supposed to slow down realistically on a yellow flag. But every driver does not. You're still flat out unless a car's parked in the middle of the road.
Right. Yeah, but that makes sense, I suppose, doesn't it, from a racing perspective? Yeah. Yeah,
it's you definitely pay more attention to when there is a yellow flag in case anything is there. But technically you do go around a little slower, but it's nothing major. It's not like a second off. It's half a tenth.
I suppose they're just waiting to see if you've lifted a little bit. That's, you know, because that way you've responded to that yellow flag. So
as long as you don't get a green or a purple sector and a yellow flag, you're okay.
Yeah, because then it's like, yeah.
Yeah, then you might have a little trouble explaining it to the race directors.
Yeah, Zac, can you come to the office, please? We'd like to talk about your purple sector. This one's going to hurt. Oops.
Yeah. The thing is, when you're going round and you are racing, and you know your job is to ultimately go as fast as you can, right? And there's so much going on, like we spoke about earlier, with all the different settings, etc., etc. I guess it can be easy to miss these sort of yellow flags and stuff from time to time. I know that's part of your job, is to see them, and like you say, you see them in your peripheral vision and stuff, but there must be times when you don't always see them. I guess there's people in the rear as well, right, telling you about it, but
sometimes when you're like in a pack and stuff and you are focused really heavily on what is happening with the cars, where you can send a move in and stuff, you will often sometimes miss the flag.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But then by then, usually you've already clocked where the next marshal post is. You've clocked that flag and you've gone, oh, all right, I shouldn't have done that. So I'll either give him his place back or something. Because then, you like just clock the next flag or the next marshal display board. I know I've had it once where I haven't seen the yellow flag completely, and that's because a car's been blocking where my vision was to see the marshal post. So that's happened to me before. But
do you have your team in your ear as well, telling you about?
We have molded earplugs in, so obviously it blocks most of the sound out of the engine, and they're all always giving you information, cycling through, trying to help you as much as possible.
That's interesting. It now, this is a silly one, but you might have done it, you may not. I know in the past I've heard them say that Seb Vettel did. I've heard them say that Lewis has done it. They've gone past the TV screens and they've been watching to see where the other people are. They can clock where they are. Come on, Zac, tell us, have you ever done the TV screen and looked where everybody else is?
Yep, I have done that quite a lot.
That's amazing. It's incredible that you can do that.
Barcelona especially, because on the main pit straight there is a big board with a big TV at the top. So whilst you're going around, you can just it's a long straight, so you just have a quick scan. Oh, I'm 2 seconds in front. It's fine. He's done this time. I've done this time, so I'm quite quick. It's all good. Oh, he's battling with it's fine. Just keep going.
That's amazing. It's incredible that you can do that. You know, you can. Oh yeah, I'm doing all right. I can ease off a bit. Yeah, he's cutting me.
I'm on the TV.
I would end up drifting.
Look, Mum, I'm on TV.
It's that waving.
Wow.
Yeah, sometimes you just have a quick glance up, just have a look for like, again, more information, the better. So yeah, it's just one way you can use it.
It's
Amazing.
great, isn't it, that you've got all of this. It just shows you the skill set of the driver, doesn't it? And I don't mean that to sound condescending, but you're doing so much all of the time and you can do this. It just shows you the skill set, and you can see why you guys start so young and you have to build into this. And it's an incredibly developing career where you keep moving forward and forward and forward. It's a lot of hard work, isn't it? Because I suppose there's a lot of sim work involved as well, where you're jumping in the sim as well to keep up to speed and reaction times.
Yeah, well, my sim's over that way at the end of the room, yeah, I do quite a bit of work on the sim, to be fair, mainly for like refreshing the tracks and stuff. So like before the weekends and stuff, I go on them certain tracks and basically refresh my memory of what it is, so I can obviously do the best job when I'm actually there. And then sometimes I just have a little bit of a race with my mates, and it's more difficult with my mates because we're all really quick. So it's like a proper GT3 race. It's not like going around and you've got, oh, he's done this many world champions in esports and it's his first time on the sim. It's like we're always on a level playing field.
Makes a good race then.
Yeah, it's definitely a good race.
Well, we've heard that, haven't we, from Max and Lando have raced each other sim racing as well. You know, they're so competitive that they do it as well. So, But can you imagine some poor bloke, Jimmy? Can you imagine? We've been invited, right? We bought a sim, right? And we've been invited to race against these guys.
Do you know? I often look at the cheaper sim setup type things, if you like. Basically, a tabletop steering wheel with pedal. Yeah, basically like that.
This used to be my old sim.
Really?
Yeah, I can't find you the pedals. I think they're gone.
I quite often look at them. I love the idea of doing it. But I think I would be absolutely terrible at it, because you see some of these guys and they post on the socials and stuff, and they're real top talented at these sims, and it's just like I would just
people that spend a lot of money on the sims.
Yeah.
For me, I don't need any of that where it's vibrating, moves when you like belts tightening. You don't really need that.
No,
I don't think.
You're just getting a feel for the track again, I guess, like you say, refreshing your memory a bit. And
the only thing I have is, I have a triple screen, so it goes round. So I can basically get the full view of the car.
Mm-hmm.
I have an ABS pedal, which simulates the same amount of ABS I get in the car. Besides that, I've just got a basic race seating, and I think it's SimCube throttle pedals and clutch. In fact, I think my clutch is actually a completely different brand. We bought a new set of pedals with the ABS.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to take the clutch off of my old one because we only got a throttle and a brake. So it's kind of just bits of a bit, and it all works and it's fine for me.
But I suppose that's the tools, isn't it? You're making those tools work for you. I mean, I can't even use my PS4 one without crashing, you know? And that's only got two pedals. Go and stop.
It's quite easy with the Sims because, in the GT3, you only use the clutch for stopping and going.
Yeah.
That's it. It's literally, once you've set off, that's it. You don't even touch your clutch. Unless you spin.
When you're in the real car, then, Zach, you've got your moulded earpieces in. Sorry, Jimmy, I'm asking all these questions.
No, you fill your boots, mate.
I'm enjoying it. You've got your moulded earpieces in. You've kind of almost noise cancellation so that you can concentrate. Do you feel the car? Do you know if there's something not doing something right? Can you feel it through the seat or through the steering wheel? Because you're obviously not going to hear that engine noise, but you can probably feel it if it's not working properly.
Yeah, you can. The earplugs are not completely noise cancelling. You can still hear a lot of the car. You can hear bangs, the engine, but it is just a bit quieter. But yeah, we feel through the car through the pedals, the steering wheel, and basically through your backside as well, through the seat. So you're always on top of everything that's happening with the car.
That's because I've always wondered how you guys, you know, when they come in the picture, go, yeah, that's not working properly. Can you adjust that? And I'm thinking, how? Again, it's one of those. How do you do that? But that feeling, I know when we drive our own cars, don't we? Of course, we know if there's something wrong with our own cars because we can feel it. But we're not doing 200 plus miles an hour. You know?
Yeah, I think we were doing 260 something kilometers at the end of the straight at Portimao. Not sure what that's in miles an hour, but
Too many.
At Spa we reach about 282, if not a bit.
Really?
Yeah, it's at the top of Eau Rouge.
That's a cracking
Wow.
bit. Yeah, I like Eau Rouge. It's a
How was that
cracking
the
bit.
first time you drove Spa? Because I mean, that is a seriously famous circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, very much
The
so.
F1 drivers love it. That must have been quite surreal driving that for the first time.
Yeah, well, it was sketchy taking Eau Rouge flat first because, yeah, it's weird. Like when you're going up Eau Rouge, you have to stay committed because as soon as you come off the throttle, it actually breaks the aero. So then your front
Oh,
goes in and you're not actually able to turn. So when you're going, well, imagine
Oh,
you're going fast, all the wind's hitting you, it's actually keeping you down. So if you come off and the wind resistance comes like loosens a bit, you come up a bit off the ground. It's like the same for us when we go over the top of the crest, the car goes light. That's because all the wind's hitting the bottom of the car now,
wow.
basically like lifting the front. That's sometimes why in like the rain and stuff, you see people spin a lot off there and
yeah.
damage.
Yeah, I suppose I've never thought that if you're lifting off, obviously that power's gone and you're making that gap and the air can get. And of course, we've seen it in the past, haven't we, when a car's been airlifted up and flipped over where they completely missed it.
Well, if you think about it, it's like a suction cup. If you've got a
Yeah.
suction cup planted down and then you start poking it at the side to lift it up, it's going to pop off, isn't it? So
Yeah. Yeah. It's a cracking way of seeing it, isn't it? That's fantastic. And I suppose those first, as you said, the first time you did, so those free practice one, when you're at that free, this is that time to really, I suppose, start looking at the track, thinking about it. Because do you feel that in the sim? I don't know. Compared to the road, is that the bits that you definitely need to be on the road for those parts?
Yeah, I definitely say there's a lot in real life which is different to the Sims.
Mm.
Personally, I'm not a fan of the Sims,
Hmm.
just because it's like you cannot replicate the feeling it is in the
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
I don't care what people say. Like, yeah, you've got the Formula One ones; they're probably the closest thing to real life,
Yeah.
but you just can't replicate the G's, how it feels, the
Yeah.
acceleration, even the noise, the noise, the feeling of the car through the wheels, the pedals, the movement, even like the lights and stuff. It's not the same. And that's what I'm not a massive fan. I like doing the real thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It makes sense because you're getting that feeling. So, what about night races then, Zach? How do you feel about the night races with the lights? Obviously putting clear visors on, does it dazzle you? Do you get a little bit of light blindness from it, or?
Well, to be fair, in the car we don't actually run a visor. Well, I do have a visor, a
No, I
tinted one
suppose you do.
just in
Yeah.
case, but usually I just have it lifted up. Um, But it was likewise, I've done like a semi-night race before in the GT4
Hmm.
last year. That got a bit darker, but I wouldn't say the lights are too bright. I haven't done it yet in the GT3, so I haven't had obviously the full endurance package beams going straight into my eyeballs. So there might be something a bit different there when obviously we've just announced I'm going to be doing the 24-hour spa this year. So
Yep.
it's already been on top.
You just know I'm going to be waiting for it. I've actually
Yeah.
said to my son, "Do you fancy going to Spa this year?" And he was like, "Where are we going, Dad?" I was like, "There's a certain 24-hour endurance race going on." And he was like, "I'll check my calendar."
But yeah, so we're doing that this year. So I'm excited to
Fantastic.
do that and experience it all. To be fair,
How do you train for that, though, Zach? I mean, how do you get your body ready for 24 hours and having to grab a few hours sleep when you can, but still having to talk to engineers and get ready to go again? I mean, is there a training or do you just go into it?
you kind of, I'm not really sure. To be fair,
No.
there'd probably be a lot of endurance training. Also, what I'm probably going to do is start like training a little bit later at night, especially when it gets closer to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
getting my body used to working at the later time, so it's not just working out through the day, and then
Mm.
also getting like big like dumps of protein or your electrolytes and stuff through energy packets.
Yeah, yeah.
Because first, for like a few days, it isn't your body can't just adjust of working so much off of these little packets all the time.
No.
I remember I was in one of the McLaren like junior McLaren trophy like presentations that we're doing, and they were all talking about all the factory drivers and stuff there. And one of them, like Marvin, he has these energy sachets and stuff. But then if you were to just give it to a normal person to do the same thing, they will end up being sick or something else. So you actually have to prepare your body for it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then as well with the night racing, I'll do quite a lot more sim work, like in the complete dark. So I'm used to it all, used to all the lights and realistically guessing where the corner is and seeing it with only the little light bulbs and stuff on the car.
Yeah, I suppose when you listen to you guys about that, you're tuning into your body, you're actually that's that true athlete in every one of you as race drivers. There's that true athlete about preconditioning our bodies, making sure we hit the right nutrients, getting the proteins right, etc. Because the likes of Jim and I, as you said, if we had them, we'd either be bouncing off the wall for 10 minutes or being violently ill, because we're not tuned into that, are we? We're not ready for that we're not that kind of athlete.
Yeah, especially in an endurance race, everything kind of has to always be like level. You don't really want like big ups and downs.
No.
Your performance kind of wants to just go peak and stay there instead of it going peak. Oh, that's it. You're good for a lap. Bang, you're bad. Oh, no, you got your energy boost, and then it just starts disappearing.
Yeah.
So you want to try and keep it so it's always consistent.
Wouldn't be a great place to be if you have a massive energy crash, would it? I suppose.
Yeah, no, it definitely wouldn't. Especially with everything being so close as well, like an energy crash and you lose maybe 2 or 3 tenths. You can go from being like P4 to P12 at the end of your stint. So it's crazy, especially with Spa and how close it is. Well, you looked at it last year and for the first like 4 hours, nobody overtook anybody.
No.
So it's stuff like that because everybody always just remains the same distance because they're all the same speed.
It has to be mentally challenging as much as physically, doesn't it? Doing something like the 24-hour races. I couldn't imagine ever being able to be prepared for something like that, to be fair. But
I was privileged to watch the Le Mans 24 a few years ago. It was one of my wishes. I wanted to go to watch Le Mans. And one of my favourite things was watching the drivers coming in, Jimmy, and it was those pit crews, how they just wake up, bang, and they're straight in. Everything was dialed in. So the driver didn't have that drop, I suppose, keep him where he needs to be because he's probably sitting in that car going, come on, hurry up, I want to go.
Yeah, with the mechanics, it's, if anything, they do a very difficult job and touche to all of them staying up. But like at the same time, if everything goes well, touch wood, like all they have to do is a pit stop, that's it. And they can that's hopefully what will happen with us. So mechanics will just be there ready, pit stop, bang, done, off we go.
That's fantastic.
So yeah, it's that, but I'm excited for it. Can't wait to get on.
I bet. I can't wait for you to race it.
Maybe
how did
is that a shooting start? Never mind, it's a car that's just spun around.
How did you go from the karting? How did the GT series come about?
Well, I've not really been interested in the single seaters much for me. I've always kind of been a bit more fascinated with the endurance side and doing the longer races and racing actually in the cars. And to be fair, realistically, it's kind of paid off as well because we don't have the money to get to F1. Like the amount for that is extortionate.
Yeah.
You need hundreds of millions and stuff like that. It's far too much money for me. Whereas obviously endurance racing still very, very expensive. Very, very, very expensive.
Yeah, I'll bet.
But I would say it's more to where my dream wants to be. I want to race more in the endurance style instead of single seaters, basically.
So that was always the sort of the path you were looking to go down, yeah.
Yeah, I've got a few friends that have stuck the single seater routes. I used to race against Ollie Beerman.
Oh wow.
I know Cian Shields, he's in F2 now as well.
Yeah.
Freddie Slater, he's just gone F3. But yeah, I know quite a few of them and they're all doing quite good, but I just not wanted to go single seaters. I wanted to go the GT car side.
Yeah, nice. Are you a fan of Formula One as well? I guess you are. I guess it comes with the territory, but
I don't mind it, to be fair. I've thought it's been a little bit boring lately. That's one of the reasons why I do like watching the endurance racing a bit more because it's all so close. you're always like on the edge of your seat going, oh, is he going to do the move? Is it this going to happen? Oh, what's going to happen in the pit stops? There's a lot more strategy involved. I know there's quite a lot of strategy involved in F1. I just find the endurance more entertaining to watch.
It's fair enough.
Yeah, absolutely, because you are right. I mean, I think quite a few of us, Zac, thought the last few years in the previous one that we had, that last car was getting a little bit like,
he's first.
Yeah,
he's won championship.
Which is one of the reasons why I also love my IndyCar racing as well as the Formula One, because there again, you got the pit stops are they're so important in that, and the strategy of the car and the way that they're changing the towing of the car going around the circuits. It kind of brings that element of GT and a single seat racing kind of almost together as such.
Yeah, I think
racing their mindset.
I think it'd be good if they brought in refueling again for Formula One, like pit stop, which would take longer and stuff like that. And personally, I think bring the cars back to how they used to be, where the driver was more involved in changing the stuff and instead of the tech team.
Yeah.
So where I like watching the more classic F1s, that era where they were proper driving it. They were shifting themselves, clutch pedal, like that was like it's the Senna era, just class.
Yeah.
I mean, the boys that are in F1 now, they're really, really good. And to be fair, I enjoy watching them, and I think I could do what they do. But I'd like to give it a shot, but I don't think I'll get. Oh well, I won't get to F1, but I'll give them a shot or race against one of them in the hypercars or an X1.
Now that's music to my ears. Let's put one of them in a hypercar and you guys go head to head with that. That would be phenomenal, because I mean, your GT route, and I can see where that progression into that hypercar, you can almost see that progression as that's where you want to be. And then once you get into those hypercars, it's just, wow. Their speeds they're going. I mean, they're at times when they're going around certain tracks, they're almost, if not the same amount of speeds as the F1 cars are going. You know, they are there.
They're slower than what they used to be.
Yeah.
Well, if you go back to like the LMP1 era.
Oh, now you're talking.
that is when they used to be proper, like pieces of kit they were.
Yeah, definitely. Those old LMP ones were
like 700, 800 horsepower and weighed 600, 700 kilo.
Exactly.
Ridiculous they were.
Yeah.
What's it? The one that's, I think it's either the same speed, if not quicker than the older Formula One car was around Spa.
Yeah.
And even when the professional driver comes out and his statement is, the car can go quicker, I feel like I'm the one that's limiting it. Like, you know, that's a proper beast of a machine.
That's a beast. When you're telling the crew that you're holding that car back, yeah, that's a beast. That's a proper beast, isn't it? You know. So, oh wow. So I've got to say, I am very privileged to have one of Zac's caps on, ladies and gents, with the McLaren badge and everything else. And it is signed by Zac as well. So you can tell that this was one of those meetings that I definitely wanted to take place. But again, Zac, can I ask you to do one more thing for us? Can you please show us that GT4, that trophy, to the size of that trophy to you? I know you've got your best shorts on, but no one's going to see them.
I'm trying to keep it looking like I'm nice, and I'll crawl over if you want.
We're just grateful you've got some shorts on, to be fair, Zac.
Look at this GT4 trophy. Look at the size of this beastie.
So this was 2024. Let me get in camera. This was 2024 overall champion for British GT. Definitely an interesting season.
Yeah,
unbelievable.
That's it. It was a four-way battle for the lead right at the end. Whoever finished in front of whoever won the championship.
That must have been a lot of pressure, Zac, getting in that car that day, thinking, I've got to be first to win. You know, I can't be second because you're all that close. It must have been, that must have been a mindset and a half to get into the zone on that one.
I'd say there was more pressure the round before.
Really?
Because we were first in the championship and we were leading by quite a fair bit. But unfortunately, we had a little bit of an incident where it dropped us back a few places. So we ended up coming into that round second, but by only by like 2 points. So nothing much at all. And I'd say probably like keeping up there, keeping the pace, making sure like, oh, where's the enemy? Like la, it's fine. Whereas going into that last round, it was like, right, we're chasing them. Let's go. Let's give it all we can. And we did, and we ended up delivering and came back home with a gold pot.
Amazing.
Must have been. How did it feel when they said this year's champion is that moment? That must have been surreal when they're walking up and they give you your name and say this year's champion is. Yeah, that must have been a surreal moment.
It was just mega, to be fair. Even in the garage and stuff, like realizing like that's it, you won it.
Wow.
It was something I've wanted to do because I didn't have a great first year into British GT.
Mhm.
I had a lot of issues with the car, a lot of technical issues. That's when we ended up swapping to a McLaren halfway through the year. But sadly, the BOP for the McLaren wasn't as good as what it was at the start. And then we've stuck with McLaren because I enjoyed it so much ever since. And
here you are.
It's paid off.
Yeah.
Now in that Junior Cup, and I'm so pleased that you made that switch because watching you, wearing the papaya, being proud of the papaya, driving one of those McLaren, GT3 cars, it's hopefully moving up to that hypercar, but that will be very much papaya. That would be the dream. Yeah, too right. You just know we want that to happen. But yeah, having you in papaya for us is just phenomenal. Having you as an ambassador for the team and the colours that we love most is fantastic. So, and getting you on here has just been, it's just been fantastic. And thank you for, I know I'm not sure we've completely finished yet, but I just wanted to say thank you already for your time, showing us the trophies, the helmets and etc. But what's your one favourite? What is your most memorable piece of memorabilia or a helmet? What is that one thing you look at and think, yes, done it?
I'm not actually sure, actually.
It must be quite difficult with that array of trophies behind you.
I'll probably say the Brands Hatch one's good because obviously that's the last race that won us the season.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I enjoy the Silverstone race.
Yeah.
And the Donington 3-hour race because we won them back to back actually in 3 hours.
Yeah.
Well, the Silverstone one was good because our team did a gamble on a suspected rain cloud that was coming.
Oh.
So when we were going round, I was a bit off the pace because my tyres were new and we were expecting the rain. And it ended up paying off in the end, which was really nice for us. And we ended up winning the race actually by a full lap.
Wow.
Fantastic. There's that.
Oh, what a call that must have been to make.
It genuinely was. I remember being on the radio and he's like, right, Zach, you're doing good managing the tyres, but can you go a little bit faster now? I'm like, I'm going as fast as I possibly can. I need it to rain. And I remember going down Silverstone Straight and I just see this big black cloud coming over and I'm like, thank you.
Wow.
And just absolutely hammers it down. And then next thing you know, because we did that gamble, we were gone completely until the next pit stop.
Wow,
Fantastic.
what a call. One last thing I wanted to quickly ask you about, Zach, and I really hope that I've got this right. You're a big Bradford City fan, right?
I'm partnered with them.
Right. Okay. I knew there was a link somewhere.
Yeah, I'm partnered with them. We were doing like quite a little interesting series of like what it is from a footballer to a race driver, see the differences. And we're currently organising something to try. It'll be either on my challenge channel or probably on my Instagram. That we're going to end up doing with Max Power, their leader. It's quite ironic, actually. I drive cars and it's Max Power. But yeah, so
Bless you.
Yeah, so we've got something planned with them, so it should be good.
Watch this space, ladies and gents.
Absolutely.
Definitely
Zach,
not a footballer though. There was one video out there, and I blame it on the trainers. I didn't have football boots, and the ground was wet and slippery, so that's my excuse.
And would they have been any better if they'd have had tyres on wet, slippery ground? No chance. So exactly. that equals it out.
You can't have slick tyres on wet, slippery grass. You're just going to keep going like that, doing donuts. So
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Zac, this has been great, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys very much as well.
Really appreciate you joining us. Guys, amazing episode. Shout out to you, Keith. You're the one that's pretty much organised this, and you've been in Zac's corner from the off. So yeah, awesome, man.
Well, I will continue to do it, Jimmy, until we get him into one of those hypercars, and then I should just stay even further in there. You know I will.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've got a gift for you coming as well, so you should be getting it. Well, hopefully soon.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. I was like a kid with a new toy.
Can't wait to see that.
Me and my dad have done quite exceptional work on the cardboard because we realised that obviously the box was far too small. So we've, instead of actually putting into a box, we flat packed the box and then carve the cardboard around it. So it's.
So this is a proper dad job then.
Yeah, it was. I remember we were both looking at it going, that's not going to fit.
Oh, now I'm even more excited to see what's coming in the flat pack box. If it's got IKEA written, I'm like, I hope they've given me the instructions.
Yeah, we've had to dismantle it to give it to you.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Fantastic.
When you get a wardrobe, it's actually what we've given you instead.
I needed a new papaya wardrobe. It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Keep an eye on the socials to see what that is, because I'm as intrigued as everybody else about this.
Watch this space. It will be going live. The unwrapping will be a live event. So keep this space clear. You know
it might take a while, but he'll get there.
Yeah, especially if these don't work properly. I'll be like, wifey, you know you like Ferrari. Give us a knife. No, that would be dangerous, wouldn't it?
Now, I tell you what, you'd have to be worried Keith using power tools.
Bad enough in the wheelchair, Zac. You know that. You saw the driving in that, let alone. Zac experienced my reversing and nearly taking out a McLaren, but we won't go there.
I think it was my McLaren, actually, almost shunted into. I think it was, what was it? We sat there at Brands. I'm getting ready for the race. Next thing, I'm going, get a photo, Keith. I went, no, yeah, sure. Next thing I know, I've been touches like the back of the awning 10, and next thing you know, he's going like this. Whoa.
To McLaren.
I didn't know we were having a bonnet with Keith just laid on the front going round for the rest of the circuit.
Jaguar have got nothing on us. They've got a Keith on the McLaren. Oh dear. Look, this has been fantastic, Zac. Thank you for giving up your time. We know it's valuable. We know you've got a lot going on. We're looking forward to Spa. I'm really hoping I can convince my son to take me out there. But if not, I'll be glued to the telly.
You can just go yourself. Just book him a ticket.
But you know what? Keith left alone in a wheelchair. This is dangerous. They're like, God, they've left him alone. What's he going to do? Oh, dear. Jimmy, thank you for inviting me to do this with you tonight with Zac. It's an absolute pleasure. I've really
How could I not, mate? How could I not?
There's been lots of giggling. People are going to go, look at them, like a bunch of kids. Yeah, you're right, we are, and we love it.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about, right?
It's all about the fun.
Yeah, Zac, thank you so much again, mate. Really do appreciate it. Guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I've been Jimmy. That's been Keith. That's been Zac. And until next time,
never stop racing.